That's right. That's right.
Cubans, we drink about 3 times a day. So this, I already had it in the morning. We have it usually around lunchtime and then later on dinner. So I have a lot of energy in the day. But
Are you supposed to stay
at
up all
this
day?
point,
What are you doing?
Listen, they take it. He takes it 5 a.m. in the morning. He goes right back to bed, man. It doesn't even face him anymore.
This is the problem. Like
this shit is in their blood. Okay, they got that snake blood.
It's
You know
not
what I'm saying?
okay.
So listen. When I was little, yeah, I know it's like I said, this is more chill.
Fuck it.
When I was little, in Cuba, we didn't have like chocolate powder, which my church, it was funny. They actually, for my birthday, or I forgot. Yeah, I think it was for my birthday or Christmas, or I forgot what they did, but they got me a chocolate powder. They didn't have chocolate powder at the time, and I came when I was 4 years old. So basically, my mom would put drops of coffee in my milk.
How old were you?
3 years old, 2 years old. Yeah.
Straight out the womb.
Yeah. So this to me doesn't do anything. I have to drink at least 2 of these in a row. Because if I drink it now and then I drink it later and whatever, it's at this point it's more of an addiction than anything.
Yeah, man.
Scrumptious, tasty, addictive.
Not for kids. Not for kids.
Sensory advice. No. All right, guys. Well, welcome to episode 3 of the Daily Dose podcast.
Welcome.
And today we have our boy Bryce here. Mega pimp, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah,
I'm going to let him continue.
Yeah. So he's on the guest list today, and so we're going to let him introduce himself and a little bit of what he does and what he's doing right now.
All right, y'all. So Bryce Broughton, CEO of Hoodiegang, basically entertainment company, entertainer, about to be on a TV show, so actor, on a clothing line as well. Our app just came out called Kickback, which allows you to find any event in the world and host any event in the world. Fellas, you can see all the girls that are at the party before you get there. And ladies, you can see all the dudes that are at the event before you even get there, so you don't have to waste your time, you know. But yeah, things like that of that nature, just all in the entertainment realm, everything in one without trying to be everything.
There you go.
That's what's up.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Saving time, saving money.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. That's awesome. So what was your plans today? What'd you do over the weekend?
All right, so what I can tell you about what I did over this weekend is...
What can you tell us?
Yeah, what can you tell us?
So I just, came out with the cap, the Hoodiegang.
That's right.
Trucker cap. Thank you all for your support. You guys seem to like these. So I did that over the past weekend. Schmidt, Vice President of Hoodiegang, he had a bodybuilding competition. We went over there to get some content. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys will see that because somebody
we'll put it in the description. Links.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Somebody
Check 'em out.
stole our SD card.
And it's true, I stole it.
But it's all good,
man.
But, you can get that taken care of. But
Broke people out here trying to steal these
Man,
things that
let
you
me-
could easily buy at Best Buy or Walmart.
let me tell you, man, don't try to hold nothing from me for ransom. But
Wait, for ransom? What happened? You
Man,
gotta
oh,
explain
man.
that. You gotta explain
So,
that.
all I can say is this. I won't say too much, but all I can say is somebody came there, took the content, then tried to be like, "Oh, you're gonna have to pay $350 to get the content shot because your shirts cost $350."
Sheesh.
This a whole bunch of emotional things that had nothing to do with the business. Then tried to took my SD card and told me when you're gonna get back to me. Like that's not how it works. I can't steal your card and then tell you when I'm gonna return your vehicle.
I'm guessing there's legal things involved where we can't go too into it. I'm guessing. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Exactly,
It's Hoodiegang. Come on, man. They don't have to play with us like that.
That's what's up. Yeah. So what's the plan? We were talking earlier about you going to be moving to Miami. So what's the
that's a
plan?
big move
What are
for
the
sure.
goals?
All right. So besides the BBLs, basically, since this app has come out, we're throwing a lot of events. A lot of celebrity events. Also, I'm producing music right now, so that's something that's very big, very very big right now. I'm managing 2 artists right now, named CeeLou, and one's name is Javen Jackson, an R&B singer. I'm also coming out with a pretty big album as well. I have a lot of amazing talent that's going to be on that album. So, obviously, I love Pensacola's home. You guys have supported me so much. But it's time to grow. I just turned 22 a couple weeks ago. And there's only so much, I pretty much done everything I could do out here. I have to move, with the big city, with the bigger fishes. If you're not changing, if you're staying the same, to me, that's moving backwards. So I have to take that giant leap. It's not even leap. It's just investing in myself. A lot of people, they want the nicest things, but they don't want to invest in themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, we talked about it in the last episode. That's funny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Investing in yourself is a huge thing, and I think a lot of people sometimes want to even move forward, but they're not even an expert in their own craft.
Exactly.
And you've already got into that stage in yourself where you already know what you're doing. You've become an expert in your own craft, and you're like, okay, now I just got to move a little bit higher. Right.
You gotta change your environment. You gotta change your
The problem
environment.
is a lot of people, they don't even know, a third of what they're doing, and then now they want to go somewhere bigger. You can't do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But the fact that you're doing all these things and now you want to go somewhere bigger, that's just growth.
Honestly,
That's part
I
of
think
growth,
a lot of
man.
people, they want to, a lot of time it's ego. They know in a small city, you're the top dog, you're the king, no one's as popular as you, you may have a good following and whatnot. So it's really not about that, for me at least. If I'm the biggest person in the room, then I'm in the wrong room. And I never know anything, so I'm always trying to learn. I'm going to be in a room with people like, Jay-Z, Drake, people like Elon Musk and of that nature. So I have to, humble myself and put myself in a position to where I can learn from them and be an asset to them and help people like that.
Yeah, increase your value in the marketplace, because if you don't have any value in the marketplace, you're not going to get paid. Aside from minimum wage and whatever an employer is going to be willing to give you. So, and speaking on that, what advice would you give to someone starting a business, given that you've been in the business industry for a little bit?
The advice I would give to them is it's all in your head. I'm very big on like manifestation and energy and things like that. You have to change the self-concept of yourself. That old version of you basically have to kill it and shoot it down. You can't try to solve your problems within the same state of mind you're already in. So you have to basically think of a different state of mind. Like wealthy people and people who are not, don't have as much money, they're all the same people, just the state of mind they're in. They're not smarter than you. They're just thinking on a different program than you. That's it. If you go to a wealthy family or poor family, you've met probably poor people who have all the potential in the world, but they're thinking on a different program. They have different beliefs. So for me, like the hardest part is changing my self-limiting beliefs. And, I didn't come from a poor family. I came from, a pretty good family, but we all have self-limiting beliefs, whether that's with the relationships or money. So it's not even the technical part, because a lot of people think that, well, the knowledge is very important, but knowledge is one thing, but belief is really the most important thing, because I know people who are so smart, but they hesitate. I know people who are not very smart at all. You've probably seen it at all. People who are not intelligent at all, but they make a lot of money just because they just do it the simple way and they just believe they can. So if you don't change your beliefs, like if you say yourself making money is hard, doing this is hard.
Yeah, how you say it matters.
It's gonna be hard for you.
Well, how you think about it, your biggest ceiling is up here, right? That's where you cap at, is right here.
Right.
So we actually talked about it in the last episode. Was a lot of people limit themselves to what they can actually make, what their company can make, what they can actually do, and they'll say they want to go up to right here, and that's it. That's their ceiling, and then they'll get there eventually, right? And then once they get there, they'll be like, oh, shoot, I could have gone so much higher.
There's no dream too big, only dreams that are too small.
That is true.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, and so when we're talking about mindset, I'd say most people deal with doubt.
Right.
What would you say is how do you manage those type of things when it comes to doubt and those negative aspects of the mindset?
So, again, like the technical side, I feel like is the easiest part because the information is there. When it comes to doubt, honestly, it's really all in your head. But one thing that helps doubt really is writing goals, setting them, and accomplishing your goals. It helps you become more confident. So whenever I write down my goals in the morning, if you write it down and you just hold that notepad, as soon as you wake up, you look at it, you'll start to go on throughout the day and be like, wow, I completed this, I completed this. I'm pretty sure you guys write a lot of things down. And I'm pretty sure you'll go back like a month ago or 2 months ago. It could have been buying a piece of equipment that you may have not had the money for right then and there, but you wrote it down. So your mind is very powerful. If you tell yourself you want this, you're going to get it. Yeah. But people get caught up in the how too much. Well, how am I going to do it? Just do it. Exactly. So a lot of times, I bet if I were to take out your notebook and you would look at the things that you've already written down, you'd be like, damn, I completed all of this. Yep. And I didn't even know how I was going to do it at the time, but you did it. Yeah. So building confidence, basically gaining trust with yourself. Meditation is very key for me because someone like me who has a lot of ideas, like kind of you can say,
not let you sleep.
Yeah, I have to meditate. Yeah. I have to calm my mind. Surround yourself around the right people. And do what you can, things like, affirmations, being consistent, things that are going to, it's kind of crazy because, like in business, you don't have to be emotional, but our emotions, what gives us the feeling state, which gives us the self-concept of ourselves. Mm-hmm. When you get a fresh haircut, you hit the gym, testosterone's pumping. You put
Feel
on that
better
cologne,
about yourself.
you feel better
and-
about
yeah.
yourself. You talk differently on the phone. Like, but when something bad
Carry
happens
yourself.
and you let it get in your head, you kind of you look down.
Yep.
You don't want to look anybody in the eye. So like how you feel about yourself is very important.
Yeah, confidence is probably the one single most thing that either makes or breaks somebody.
Exactly.
I think there's a study in saying I think it said something along the lines of like if you literally have like 5% less confidence going into something or whatever, you will either not do it to the best of your ability or you will fail or whatever. So the mental strength is the most important in my opinion out of every other thing out there.
Yep. Mindset.
And when it comes to you mentioning habits and stuff like that, what would you say are some of your daily habits that you are employing today or that you've started to do throughout your weeks and months and stuff like that?
Man, great question. Thank you for asking. So I would say meditation is key. Affirmations. Pretty sure you guys know what that is. I feel great about myself.
Yeah.
I am this.
He's got a whole board of that. Yeah.
See,
I got 2 whiteboards full of words of affirmation.
I was not expecting that when I
goals, all that
walked.
stuff.
We went to go grab I forgot what it was, a computer or something in his room, and I walk in and I see a big board and it says I am this and so it's.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for it.
And I wasn't ready, so I just
started.
started laughing in the morning just because I did not know that's what he had there, and so it was. But
I need it. You know what I'm saying?
But it is a
Some
huge
people,
part of what will remind you every single day. You can do this. Just do it. He really needed it though.
Right.
He is. I mean, I'm not shooting shots at you, but it is something where what makes us a great team is the fact that I'm a risk taker.
I risk it all for the team.
He's naturally a risk taker, and I'm naturally one that.
And so that makes a good team because
I'm strategic about the way I go about stuff, and sometimes that makes me stall for a period of time.
Yep. Right. Okay.
I'm big on risk. However, he'll remind me what the risks are. Right. So that's kind of what helps us as a team is a lot of things that we have right now wouldn't have happened or we wouldn't have it if it wasn't because I said, let's do it. And he would tell me kind of like, well, how are we going to do that? I'm like, dude, I don't know. We're just going to have to do it. Let's do it. But we also have a lot of things because we waited because he said, hey, I don't think we should do that yet. Let's wait on this. And I listened to him. Okay, let's do that. So that's what really it's done a good team. But yeah, mindset is a huge thing. It's a huge thing.
To add on what he was saying, you could say the tactician of the two.
You look like a sniper. Quick scoping ass.
Yeah, no, I used to do that back in the day. COD, all that stuff. Anyways, but yeah, no, I think about it as the whole picture, and obviously what we're doing in the moment. I like to think of the best way of doing that. Because there's many ways to go about life. There's many ways to run a business. There's many ways of making money and being successful based on what you're trying to do. But not all the ways are the quickest or the most reliable or the easiest to do. And, sometimes the easiest thing isn't always the best thing. But sometimes you don't have to do the hard thing if there's an easier way of going about stuff.
Exactly.
So, so speaking about that type of thing, what would you say has been some failures or certain setbacks that have helped you learn to become better as an individual and as a business individual?
Man, I would say one of my setbacks honestly would be not great financial planning. I've always been making money, but like sometimes, I would throw an event and whatnot. If I weren't to budget correctly, or if I were to not be as strategic as I could have been, I could have saved myself a lot of money. Even things like starting business credit a little bit earlier, things like that of that nature. I'm glad I got the hang of it now because, like I said, I just turned 22. So, like for most people, I'm very blessed in my position because not to say I'm ahead of most people, but I'm applying more things.
Some people reach that at 30.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing more with the time you have, and you're taking advantage of the time you have right now. Like
but it's good that you're being honest about it. A lot of people are not.
Right.
You ask a lot of people, hey, what is something that you're doing wrong, and it's it's holding you back or whatever, and a lot of people will be like, oh man, I don't know, let me think, and they do know.
Everyone knows,
exactly.
man. And honestly, just to add on to that is caring about what people think, not being in the moment as much. That's another thing I've had to work on. Even my self-confidence myself, like even me, like even sometimes I'd have an insecurity or I doubt myself, or as lit as I am, things like that would happen. And like looking at me, a lot of people, they can't believe that, but that's just honestly the truth. Yeah. I would say another thing would be honestly sometimes caring about what family thinks too much. They can be family, but your path, may not be my path.
Exactly.
So there's things like that of that nature. And especially, I would say that caring about what people think is honestly the hardest, because as humans, we naturally want people to like us. The crazy part that kind of helped me is just kind of doing what I liked and just kind of let everything follow. So that's what's kind of really helped me. And I want to say there's something else to add on to that. Oh, I'd say another thing that will really, really help you is I don't want to say appreciating death, but kind of realizing that you will die. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it this way, just realize that every single day you're dying. Mm-hmm. So you have to do what you really want to do, or if not, you're going to die anyway, which is kind of underappreciated. But I went to a funeral, and my cousin, they let him wear one of my suits for the funeral. And I was looking at him in my suit, and I was like, wow, that could really be me right now. And I'm like, I know a lot of these people, are crying and they don't care. But I'm like, what about all those people that you came across in your lifetime who really don't care, and you care about what they thought? Yep. So I kind of realized that if you get comfortable with death, that's when you'll truly, really get to live.
Yeah. Well, I mean, time is the commodity that you're never going to get back. Mm-hmm. It's not infinite. Your life is a little sand in the beach of the life in general. And so, whenever you realize that your life is so short, you tend to take things more seriously. You actually make what you do matter, and you take the people around you seriously, because at the end of the day, what you've said to somebody or what you've done to somebody or how you've acted around certain people, that can change their life or other people's lives, and you have no idea the magnitude of that.
Yeah, it becomes what legacy are you leaving? What are you leaving to those who...
Your imprint on this world is either going to be small, nothing, or something.
That's true.
Yep, as well, yep. For sure. Well, I will say something, though, going back to, for example, me, I have a hard time falling asleep just because in my mind is always thinking on new ideas and whatever. And ever since I was young.
Not to cut you off, but you need my ashwagandha. It's really, really strong. Me and Chris made it. It's FDA
they got
approved.
Gnarly looking branding on their stuff. It's actually pretty entertaining, but supposedly it works. So we're gonna have that in the description.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a discount code.
So for me, it was like, my dad is kind of the same way when it comes to that. And at first, when I was younger, it was always like, oh, I want to fall asleep faster, so whatever. I didn't. And now I notice that it's really about. It's not about what is setting you back, but what are you allowing to set you back? If you look at something and you look at it as a negative thing, then that's what it's going to be. But if you have something about yourself that you thought was negative, but you notice it's actually a positive thing, then use it as a positive. You see? So, for example, he may fall asleep quicker because maybe, he's not really thinking about a million things. He's focused. Okay, let me go to sleep. Tomorrow when I wake up, I'm going to think about those things tomorrow. I'm not like that. I'm thinking about the 3 companies that I got and this and that and blah, 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 and I got to get this done. And then I started thinking, I'm like, wait, why don't I use that to my own advantage? So if I'm already thinking about these ideas, this is where I'm getting my ideas.
Might as well maximize.
Might as well use it. So I started writing all these ideas down at 1 a.m, whatever time these things started coming up. And I started noticing as soon as I was done writing these things down, or as soon as I was done taking my own notes, you could say, I could fall asleep so much quicker. Because whatever was up here, it was only up here and it was only a problem because it was only up here. The moment it got into paper, in other words, checklist, right? I got that done. I got this done. I'm only going to have to do this tomorrow. I don't have to worry about this till next time. I started using that to my own advantage as a blessing, you could say, that's when I start getting my ideas.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
And so it's really all about as well, like, what are you letting be a negative thing in your life? Like, what are you letting set you back? If you can only let something set you back. You know what I mean? Right. I was watching a video about this guy, and I'm horrible with names, so I don't remember his name, but he's got no arms and no legs.
Right.
Nothing. Right. And so he was saying, he's like, if I looked at what I'm missing, I wouldn't be able to see what I have.
Wow. Man.
Deep. Temptations.
Oh, my temptation.
Yeah.
No. Everybody on this panel right here. So temptations, guys. So everybody has temptations for something. Everybody has something, that little kink in the armor. That,
oh man, here we go.
That's gonna you're more drawn to something that you're kind of weak towards. Some people it's alcohol, some people it's women. Some people it's money. Some people, it can be anything. But bad habits, or temptations in general. What would you say are, if you want to share, what would you say are some good, being honest here, because at the end of the day, being genuine is a lot better than.
Yeah, don't worry, I can always cut it off.
No, that's not good. So, okay, honestly, I bet y'all a lot of y'all were expecting me to say girls.
No, I don't think so.
But I'm actually really focused. Like,
yeah, Bryce is unexpectedly focused because he could easily pull your woman, your mom, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
He said it, not me. But honestly, that's very true. Like, honestly, when it comes to, like, you know, girls' relationships, I have been in them, but, like, it's very hard for, like, you know, sometimes girls to try to get that out of me just because, like, I know the overall end result.
Exactly.
And I've seen, like, a lot of people not love themselves enough, and I've seen, like, a lot of guys, they get caught up in the booty, the
wasting
BBLs,
time. You know what I'm saying? Wasting
caught
time,
up in the
making
girls,
bad decisions.
and then guess what? She's looking at a dude like us who's focused on
exactly.
this shit.
Exactly. If you don't build yourself up, somebody else will.
Look, if why would a woman? Because they, at the end of the day, they dictate the sexual marketplace, and so why would they choose? If there was between two guys, one's more successful, driven, and has his shit together, and then the other is a deadbeat, you know, working 9 to 5, which there's nothing wrong with working 9 to 5 if that's what you want to do, but if you don't have plans, you don't have dreams, then she's always I'd say 100% of the time, but you can't say that these days. So they're gonna choose the one that's more driven and more successful. So, and I've
seen that. And I think, like, even a lot of people think that. Fuck, we're talking about relationships now. I think a lot of people think that you got to be rich, or you got to be tall, you got to be handsome, which is really not the case. But at least have something you're passionate about. And I mean, people always see that passion and people are always attracted to it. But when it comes back to temptations, actually my biggest and worst temptation is candy.
Candy.
I've had hella cavities to get
candy
worked on.
Boy.
Like, my teeth are good now, obviously.
Okay.
But like candy and stuff like that.
Really?
Like,
Sweets.
you can talk to Schmidt, like the VP of Hoodiegang. He'll tell you, like,
yeah, Schmidt.
I'm addicted to candy.
We're gonna have him on here sometime. It's gonna be funny because me and him go way back too. I knew him back before he was it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, man. But yeah, honestly, that social media and staying focused, because sometimes my phone can blow up so much that I'll get to scrolling, and I'm like, the hell? It's been 30 minutes. It's been an hour.
It'd be like that.
And I'm like, holy. I'm like, the platform has used me when the platform is made for me to use it.
Exactly.
So just things like that. Sometimes, you know, not being disciplined enough, you know, sometimes, you know, I may stay out a little bit, you know, too late, or I may do something I know I was supposed to have done, but just procrastinated. So just things like that, just sticking to that routine. But then obviously I've also known this, like a lot of really, really successful people, they'll always smell the roses. So for instance, you know, they'll go out and they'll have a lot of fun, and you're like, dang, they're rich. How they doing this? Also notice that if you do like work,
Daddy's gotta go to work,
and you don't have that balance of having fun and actually enjoying it, it never really works out. I think another person really watches like Drake, because if you look at Drake, he's always fun. He's always having, and dude's a billionaire. Dude's always having
set. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think a lot of people don't realize that even like the small thing, because like us as businessmen, if you work all the time, but if you don't go out, you don't travel, you don't see new things, if you pay attention to your social skills, they'll kind of dull. They'll be dull a little bit. Like you'll
start to burn out. You're going to start to burn out.
Right.
You're sowing and you're not reaping the results.
Look, you know how many people I've talked to who say, I just don't have the time. Yes, you do. You're not making the time. For example, for me, Sundays, you can't touch my Sundays.
Right.
You can't. Literally, like, no. And Saturdays is for me, my family, my girl, whatever.
Right.
Can't touch my Saturdays. I've spoken with clients of mine who are like, hey, I need this done and blah, blah, blah. It's already Friday. Are you going to be there tomorrow? No. Well, you know, are you sure? I got, you know, nope. Well, other contractors usually work on Saturdays. I don't work on Saturdays.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Sorry, go with someone else. Really, you know why? Because you start it one time and it becomes a chain reaction. You start it one time, you work on Saturday. Yeah, it's just one time, dude. It doesn't matter. It's one time. Wow, whatever. You're going to say no to your family one time. But then that nice, sweet 10K comes in and you're like, well, it's just another Saturday. Exactly. And then it happens again. And then money becomes, and you know, and usually it can be money, it can be whatever, but it starts with one. People don't realize that. A lot of business owners out there, y'all, you don't realize it starts with one. It really does. And I've noticed that, and even for me, I've noticed, I remember it was one Saturday where we were supposed to go out to the beach or whatever, I don't know. And, but I do remember saying, hey, you know, I told the client they needed something done. And I said, you know, I'm just going to work Saturday morning. That's it. I'm just going to work Saturday morning. That turned from one Saturday to another Saturday, to another Saturday. Next thing you know, I was getting done 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. What are you going to do at 4 o'clock with your family?
Right.
Beach is already too late unless you're going to go see the sunset or something, or you're going to go out to a restaurant or whatever. Right. So now most of your day went by. Right. And so I started noticing, okay, I once I noticed it, I said, I got to cut back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I made it to where I said, and I woke up, man, and it hurts because it's funny, you don't notice it. And then when you got to kind of come back to it. So I had one of the clients who said, hey, but you worked last Saturday when I started to, back off from it. Well, you worked last Saturday. I said, I'm sorry. I just can't work this Saturday. I got family. You know what I mean? I'm like, sorry, can't do it. Right. And it's that feeling inside where you're like, man, I could have, but if I do it, I can get it done, and then we can get paid quicker.
And honestly, man, and then I notice a lot of people, like a lot of guys, you see this a lot in the entertainment industry. They'll start doing things like that, but then the relationships start stressing them out. Kids start stressing them out. Then that falls back into their craft, and like there's so many people who are like famous or well known or very successful who fell off, and you hear child support. You'll hear all these things that stemmed from like one thing, just like you said, or just like family issues or not having time for themselves. Just like you said, just by not putting themselves first.
Yep, I would say, and that really ties into a lot of things. Right. I think it really ties into procrastinating. I mean, you do it once, it starts. And really anything that you let become a habit. Become a habit. Bad habit. If you make it into a good habit, then it's a good habit. And you can never be perfect, so you're always going to have something that you're dealing with, right? But again, if you have something that becomes a habit, a bad habit, sadly, a lot of times we don't notice it till it's already become a habit, right?
Well, speaking on habits, your habits, your current habits, where you are right now in life. You're where you are right now because of the habits you did 3 to 5 years ago. Yeah. Right now, you can change your future if you start acting now. And goes back into the thing we were talking about earlier, like wanting to get somewhere but not knowing how to get there. Right. That's how you get there. You employ the best habits that you can make and that are going to be the best for you, because some habits are better for others and some are not. Right. And so, yeah, habits are like the key to everything, I think.
No, most definitely, man.
Yeah. Right. So when it comes to, I'd say, education. Education is probably one of those things that most people don't understand when it comes to business or self-improvement or anything like that. Right. Because, we were all taught in school how to do certain things. Right. And there's so many different ways of educating yourself nowadays, whether it be events or YouTube or mentors or anything like that.
Oh, I gotta talk my shit on this, honestly, because I'm a college dropout and honestly from school.
Yeah, from school, bro.
Dude, dude, I went.
Listen,
no, I'm gonna have so much fun editing this.
Man, I literally.
No, we ain't editing it, bro.
Man, keeping it raw.
No, we ain't editing this.
So let me tell you something. Man.
Straight raw.
I went to high school, graduated like a 30 on my ACT. Track athlete. He knows me. I had good grades as a great athlete. I went to a private school. That private school was on some bullshit. That's how but
he was a sheltered child, guys.
Bruh, I was. And actually the crazy part, if I never would have went to that school, I never would have started the Hoodiegang, because I started on accident by throwing events and whatnot. And it was so funny when we were at the college, they tried to like call the cops on us and get us investigated.
Damn! Mississippi.
Yeah, that's right. Mississippi is supposedly racist.
Oh my God.
Racist. So so let me tell you guys. So boom, I'm in Mississippi College. I'm throwing parties, throwing events. They start calling us, Hoodie Gang. So I'll name myself that. So next thing you know, man, like literally like when I tell you like Mississippi is racist, it's racist. Oh, like I mean like the type of comments I'd get, like they made like a whole page about, like they made like a Hoodie Gang like page according to the college. So like people from the college are making pages, and they weren't really posting racist stuff. But like the shit was like so funny. It was just like, we know the Hoodie Gang probably is running a like, I don't know. They said like I was running like some huge like scheme, like
some pyramid scheme type thing, or
not even that. Like they thought I was a cult leader.
Oh my
God. He's he's brainwashing the men and women of this college, because it was a Christian college.
That's right. Bad influence. There's little girls out there.
I wasn't even a bad influence. I was real. So look, the thing is like, All the girls, we go to because we had to go to chapel, right?
Dang, I can't imagine Bryson at chapel. It's just
I had chapel lit,
I bet you did.
But
you singing in the choir.
No, I actually I didn't I'm Christian as well. Disrespect it, but I'd make it fun for everyone. Make it entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Just for my group that to be there. But stop laughing at me. So look,
whatever you say, bro.
So
whatever helps you sleep at night. Yeah,
right. So it'd be funny because everyone would put on this front. It's like this super
Two-faced. Like mask
super goody two-shoe school, but we see all these girls and guys who are all turned that past weekend, doing a bunch of unspeakable things. But then they come in here and do chapel. So that wasn't a problem because humans are humans. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna have fun. The only problem with that is when people board members of the school would try to single people out, and there were even teachers sleeping with
seriously.
With students and things like that. Yeah, a lot of it. Like there was a guidance counselor or something like that, and she was cheating on her husband like a young guy. So it was a lot of it was a lot of that going on.
She giving guidance, that's for sure. You know what I'm saying.
So things like that were happening, which is cool. But I was don't try to single me out and come for me. Mm-hmm. So I basically left that school. Came down here, but the crazy part is kind of how you said, things don't happen to you, they really happen for you. But if that would have never happened, I would have never scaled Hoodiegang to the level that it's out now. Even on my business page, the followers don't speak for itself, because I'm now starting to focus a lot more on that. But I have a big influence. I just haven't really put a lot on my business page. But it's kind of weird. If had that have never happened to me, I would have never been in this position that I am now. Yeah. So it wasn't even a bad thing. It was a great thing.
Isn't that how weird, you know what I'm saying? In the moment, you might think something's bad that might have happened to you, but you got to think of it as happening for you. And so that, in your case, that makes sense.
Because a lot of the celebrities I've met, people I've worked with, that wouldn't have happened in fucking Mississippi. Going to school for 4 years, I literally would have wasted my time.
Wasted your time, money, and energy.
Yeah, and I was going to school for free. I was on a scholarship, but still,
was it for track?
Track and academics.
Yeah.
So you remember the ACT? It was just right now in these days, unless you're trying to be a doctor or a lawyer, everything you really need is online. You don't need to go to school.
YouTube.
You really don't. It's YouTube. And even when I paid $thousands for the textbooks, we never use those huge textbooks. If I'm trying to figure out what this question is, I just need to know that one question. Because now in these days, you're not going to school to actually learn. You're going to school just to pass. Because you're doing I just want to pass so I can get this degree so I can finally be financially secure. That's how you're thinking.
And you're not going to be, because then you have a debt, and then you have this, and you have that, and all you're doing is accumulating debt. That's really what you're doing.
Really
so one day you can pay it off. So then one day you can make money.
No. The school system currently is literally it is a business. And it's literally, it trains people how to be employees, not employers. And so that's, they don't promote
school
creativity.
Was started, not school specifically, but the reason we have, you can actually look this up. This is actually crazy. And you probably already know this. The reason it's A, the reason why it's A, B, and C? Idea. The reason why grades are A, B, and C, that is the quality of meat. Did you know that?
Ooh. I had no, wow.
That's deep.
Why do you think it's A, grade A, meat, grade B, meat, grade C, meat? And the reason why is because they were training these young people to be ready to work in factories. Boom.
Wow. Hold on.
Raise your hand if you need to go somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't put me on.
Make sure that you ask for permission for this. Make sure you don't have a proper opinion, because everybody's the same in a factory.
And you got to meet the standard.
You got to meet the standard to be able to work there.
Look at that.
Oh yeah. This is crazy. I'll have to pull it up probably when I'm editing it, but it's crazy. That's actually why they would, raise your hand if you need to do something. Grade A, B, and C. Anything else is failure to meet the standard.
Yeah, you don't meet the standard.
You don't meet the standard.
That's crazy.
You go like Cuba, for example, bro. Cuba,
I want to visit
by
Cuba.
12th grade,
you go there, you're gonna be God walking in there and you're saying,
no, by 12th grade, you're coming out with a associates. Yeah. So what happens is, you're getting to that 9th grade or whatever. They go, okay, what are you interested in? I'm interested in business. I'm interested in this. Obviously, Cuba's downgrade, you could say, when it comes to that. But let's say you're interested in finance, right? Okay. By 9th grade, you're already taking classes
in finance.
So you're taking your regular classes.
Something you're actually going to utilize.
Exactly. And so by the time that you go to 12th grade, you actually graduate with in associates.
That makes sense.
So your most basic college stuff here, people are graduating 12th grade with out of there.
Right.
Not like here where you have to go to a specific school for that. You got to go to a specific high school. I went to a magneted music, right? I'm using music now, but not as a career.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Exactly.
And so it's crazy because here you have to go to a specific school to be able to, actually graduate with something. I have a cousin of mine. He graduated with, I forgot what was it in, but it was to be able to work in Cox. He's not working for Cox.
Right.
Right. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's how school started.
The more you know, man.
The more you know.
Well, I honestly think school in general is like a dream killer, in my opinion. It's a dream killer, long term, anyways, because most people have aspirations and they want to get to a certain place, or they want to, have a car, or have a house that they want, or many houses, or whatever that might be. But if you're not creative and going about doing that, and actually finding people that have made it,
right,
then you're not going to get.
You know why? There's a meme I saw, and it's one of the most truthful memes I've seen. And it's Tom from Tom and Jerry, with his hands like this. Right on top, it says, you're asking, how do I write a check? How do I pay bills? How do I manage my money, et cetera, et cetera? And then it says, and what school says is, A plus B is,
Y equals,
something like that. And it was like, that's literally it right there. Right. You come out of high school. I remember when I went to college, and then I dropped out as well. So,
right. Hey, man.
But
congratulations.
because
exactly
because I wasn't really learning anything that I already didn't know.
Practical. You weren't.
And I've been managing, dude. I've had business since I was young.
Right.
I started probably around 14 years old. I used to make. I used to go to a dollar store. They had these type of necklaces. Long story short, I used to buy a bunch of necklaces for $1, buy another type of necklace for $1, put those together, sell it for $7. At like 14 years old, 13 years old. So I know what it is, right? So
that gets you to where you need to be slower.
Exactly. So now you're accumulating more debt, and you're learning less, and it's like you said, unless you're going to be a lawyer or a doctor, where I'm sorry, if you haven't gone to college and you're a doctor, I don't want you, anywhere near me.
You're not cutting me up, yeah.
Yeah, but that's because specifically that's something very specific. Yeah. But for something as being an entrepreneur, starting your own business, dude, the amount of information we have nowadays, the amount of information we have nowadays, it really makes it to where you don't really need it. I think Elon Musk said the same thing.
Him and Donald both said that. Yeah. I was watching a YouTuber called The Real Estate Trapper. One of my top financial YouTube guys I'm watching YouTube. He said he's at the strip club, pulled up in his Rolls Royce. These young kids pulled up in his Rolls Royce next to him, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I'm telling the story right. But he said in his YouTube that all they do, he asked them what do they do. They upload, rainwater videos of people that sleep at night. They make $500K a month.
I tell you what.
So he was telling me, he's like, if you think about it, what college degree, what's going to make you $500K a month net profit? No overhead. You're just posting a video. Nothing. I think he's even to a lot of YouTubers making like $40K a month, smalling from YouTube. And it's kind of crazy because you're kind of if you pay attention, they're trying to tell us that business is oversaturated. When he said it's really not. Like even for YouTube and things like that, like I'm pretty sure YouTube's beating real estate and passive income because there's no overhead. If I post a video and I'm making $70K a month, I don't have to go, talk to his landlord, invest in his house. I'm just posting a video and I'm done.
Yep.
And it's just going to continue to make old money and new money.
Exactly.
That's
so it's
the beauty of YouTube right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once you get it going, it's just like.
Yep. Yeah. You just got to maintain at that point, and that proves the point of if you're not creative in the marketplace, or if you're not if you don't do the things that you're passionate about, or something that is going to solve a problem for some select individuals, then you're not really going to get very far.
I noticed this. A lot of people think, even a self-limiting belief, you need money to make money. You really don't. You just need an idea. Because you can just come up with an idea and have no money, and come to someone and do this and start making money.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and it's funny because whenever I think about you need money to make money, even though there's a truth to it, because if not, there's a truth to it. However, if that was the case, then people you would somehow have already money to then become well-known, to already, you know what I mean?
That is true.
So that means people wouldn't be able to be, better yet, that would mean people would be self-made.
Right.
Because somehow they already had money. Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So unless your parents already had money and whatever, most people, you got the majority of people do have to start without money.
Right.
They start with an idea. They start by, whatever. And then they pursue that idea or that passion or whatever it is. And then that turns into a business that later on turns into money, obviously.
Even people who've done things like music, like T Grizzly said that like he went to jail for like trying to break in, like steal some jewelry. Came out of jail, right? Just like I think he had like a few $100. He's like, hey, will you just shoot a music video for me? Dude shot a music video. Went to his homeboy studio. I'm pretty sure it was free. Had a beat that I'm pretty sure he didn't pay for. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm explaining this right. He said he, the song "First Day Out" by T Grizzly.
Yeah,
they prayed on my downfall.
I'm bad with names. I'm bad with names. Okay. I'll be honest. I'm bad with names.
Dropped that song. He said like in a day or two, the next couple of days, somebody was like, "Hey, I want to book you for a show." He started getting paid minimum $50,000 a show. $50,000 for like an hour or two. So, but he didn't have any money. He just had an idea. I'm just gonna drop a song.
Yeah. Well, he had the idea, but he also had the motivation. And, whenever you don't have motivation to do what you're trying to do, anything, you're not going to get very far.
Imagine if you're just like, oh, man, I'll just go get a job. I'm tired.
Yeah, because you're lazy.
Yeah, you're lazy.
Well, action, man, there's a reason why action speaks more than words. You can give me an idea right now. You can tell me, yo, Jose, I'm going to make it one day. I'm going to make it. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm going to make it. I'm going to write an album.
Right.
Entirely me myself. I'm just gonna do it, produce it. We talk a week later. What have you done? Oh, nothing yet, but it will happen, bro. It will happen. You're gonna see it. Okay. Month later, yo, have you done anything? No, dude. It's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. It's gonna. Have you talked with people about it? Have you tried to get a producer? Or are you gonna do it yourself? Have you downloaded a program? Started kind of playing around with how how to actually build a song? Put two and two together.
Right.
No, not yet, but it's gonna happen. And so what that happens, what's going to happen is that nothing's going to happen.
Right.
Right. And so action does speak more, speak louder than words. For me, whenever we were talking about doing the podcast, I think it was a Saturday when I spoke with Nate. That Monday, we were already looking what equipment are we going to get?
Right.
What are we going to do? What's the plan? Who are we going to put on it? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. By Tuesday, we were already looking up. Okay, do we have the budget for it? Okay, we don't have the budget for it. Let's
make the budget for it.
Right.
I'm gonna have to get from my money. You're gonna have to get from
What
your
can we
money
get right now.
Right.
We'll make that money back. Literally, like, just like that. We'll make that money back. What do we got in the safe? This much? Crap. We need $200 more for this thing. Let's wait. Let's make this job happen, and then we'll be able to buy that and two more things. You know what I mean? But we started. I think by week 2, we already had most of the equipment done,
Right.
and we had a sort of a plan on what we wanted to do. By week 3 and 4, we already had everything together. We already had talked to people. By week 5, when we were about to start actually doing the first episode, we already had two people who wanted to be part of it, not just as guests, but they actually wanted to sponsor it.
Wow.
By week 5,
You probably weren't even expecting that.
we weren't at all. And so but we took action to it. And this is not like we got nothing else to do. Like, dude, I have a remodeling company to run.
Right.
We have a marketing company to run. He works with me sometimes on remodeling. First of all, extra cash. Why not? Who wouldn't want to? But also sometimes I'm overwhelmed with work. I'll call him up. I'm like, yo, I need this, and this done. Can you get it for me? Yeah, cool. I'm gonna go get that done. So it's not like we got nothing to do. We have a lot to do. And then I got church. I got this. I got that. You know what I mean? I'm the marketing director for the church, so I'm in charge of that. So I'm all over the place constantly. But I still made the time, and we still took the action. We said we're just gonna have to do it. One of his first questions was like, "Dude, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do it?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know, but we're just gonna have to do it." Start calling people up. We were talking. I was talking with my cousin about getting him on the podcast. We're going to get him next Monday. Sorry, and I remember him telling me, he's like, "Yo, we got to get Bryce on the podcast." I said, "Call him right now. Text him right now. Whatever you got to do." You sure? I don't know if we do it now. Right. Like, do it now, right now. Yeah, because if we don't do it now, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't even been here anyway.
Exactly. So, right. So if you don't do it now, then we can't wait and hope. You're not going to call us up and be like, I have a feeling you're doing a podcast. Let me be on it. You know what I mean? You're not going to do that. Exactly. No. So it takes action, because actions do speak more than words. Right. Big time. For sure.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to action, your why for doing something is it's what's going to get you out of the bed in the morning. It's going to get you through the difficult times, whether it be business, life, whatever. And so what would you guys say is your biggest motivation, and how did you discover, or how did that come to be as your motivation?
So my biggest motivation, honestly, was just when I started doing things. It's how good I made other people felt, which is kind of weird. You would have thought it'd been the money, thought it'd been the clout,
Helping
whatever.
people.
But I get a really good feeling of helping people because I know that impact is going to like have a lot of longevity to it. Like even if you look at Elon Musk, he wasn't the first person to make an electrical car, but he's making all these cars for other people to drive. So things like that was like, I was like, okay, I'm really making people feel good. And people are like, hey, you're inspiring me. And I'm just like, man, I'm just having fun. But I was like, making money doesn't have to be hard, and you can make money doing what you want to do. So I was like, you know what? Especially in a small city like this, I'm like, man, let me go ahead and be a pioneer for that. Then as I started to like do things, stuff happened along the way, like becoming a producer, like starting my clothing line. Like this all happened. Manifestation is very real, like by the universe. Like this all just started to happen. So it's like, this is my path. And then like, when Schmidt had his baby and like Juan had his baby, that inspired me because obviously I don't have any kids or anything. I don't plan on having kids. So I'm like in my 30s. But just to see like that younger generation, like, okay, if Schmidt's working with me and I consider my brother, what I do right now will help his family eat. So that like inspired me a lot. Just being able to be like a pioneer for like the younger people.
Being a good example. A good example,
right.
a good leader, somebody to look up to.
So you're looking into the future as well. You're saying, okay, where am I going to be in the next 10 years?
Exactly, and I already know like within the next few years, I'm definitely going to be a multi-billionaire, especially with the app, with the music and things like that. And I already know like what I'm going to do with that money. Like you even see like with the app, I already had like, okay, this is how it makes money. This is the plan for it, but it's not really about the money. And I have a lot of stuff I want to do in Pensacola as well, because I'm not sure if you're from Pensacola, and you said you're from Miami.
I'm Miami,
but me and him are from Pensacola, and like people like us, like I wish there had been more people like us from the beginning, inspiring, kind of like reaching out and grabbing us, like, hey, keep doing this later. Because the only regret I have, everything happens for a reason, but the only regret I did have is there are not a lot more people like us, and a lot more people, motivating us to do things like something like opening up a nightclub. Like if I open up a nightclub down here, like people be like, hey, we finally got, more crazy lit things to do. Yeah. So I feel like there's a lot that I am going to do for the city when I come back. And I also know that Pensacola hasn't really had like a big A-list, celebrity to come out of Pensacola. So I'm going to be one of the few people like that. When I mean A-list, I mean like a The Rock or someone like a Drake or someone of that type of level.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We got some known people.
We got some prominent people.
But that's good. You're looking towards what's going to happen in the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever. A lot of people don't do that. That's a problem. Because if you don't look towards that, a lot of people are like, nah, bro, I live in the now.
Right.
If you live in the now, then your future is going to catch up with you, and then you're going to be surprised.
Right. Yeah.
I was talking with him the other day. We're like, dude, I graduated 2017. What? You know what I mean? Like, I can't. What happened? Right? Like, it's so quick.
Right.
And so if you don't look forward and you don't realize, okay, this is what I want, put yourself small goals on what you want. And if you don't do that, then it's going to catch up with you really quick. And next thing you know, you're in your 50s and you're like, what did I do? Right? Yeah.
Well,
big time.
it's literally those who do not plan are planning to fail.
Yeah, that's true.
If you don't plan for your future, if you don't plan for the now and for later, time's going to catch up, as he was saying, and you can't do nothing about that because you can't get time back. So why not make the right decisions right now and
have the future easier on you?
Don't live with guilt, and that's one. I'll give a little piece of whenever I was younger. So I mean, at least what kind of started me off on the personal development journey, because that's been a big part of my young adult life. And so, I thought about the people on their deathbeds, for example, like envisioning myself. I don't want to be on my deathbed and regret the things that I could have done or what I could have achieved. And, you have the ability to do so. Why not do that? Why not make something of your life? And there's a lot of people out here that haven't thought about that. And actually it hasn't soaken into their soul, and I kind of imprinted that into myself. I burned it inside of me. I was like, I'm going to be better. I'm not going to be average. I can't be average. That's another thing. Like the whole school thing. Yeah. I'm all for, learning the things that you want to learn and the things that are actually going to get you where you want to be. But first of all, you got to understand yourself, self-awareness. There's a whole
self-awareness is a big one.
Look, when there's somebody, maturity in general, that's a whole thing. Whenever somebody says that they're like a whole individual, that's a rare individual right there. That's a high value individual. And you don't come across those many people because a lot of people mimic other people, including your parents. Like if you're basing success off your parents, your parents didn't do it right most of the
A
time.
perfect example is like look at Kanye West. Like everyone says, oh, he's crazy and he's this and that. But you've probably never seen someone like so many people like follow him or like whatever his plan is or see him like be talked about as much. But it's like he's got to be a billionaire somehow, and he's original. So
He's an OG.
but you know what?
He was creative in his own
with
craft.
Kanye, a lot of things that you see from him is him talking about his negatives, things that he does wrong, and that's actually something like fantastic to do. The problem is a lot of people live in an illusion that I don't have that many wrong things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't think that they got problems.
I just gotta work, not on this addiction, not on this other thing. I just gotta work on the fact that I don't wake up early enough. You know what I mean? If I wake up early enough, I'm gonna be a millionaire someday. You're horrible with your finances. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. You got that addiction. You got this thing over here. You know what I mean? But that's too much to handle.
right.
And when you don't actually sit down and go, okay, what is limiting me? What is slowing me down from going here, right? And you mentioned like, man, I counted maybe like 15 things that you said about yourself.
Yeah.
But the fact that you know that about yourself, that gives you something to work with.
Right.
Well, that
Right.
speaks volumes.
appreciate it, man.
He's self-aware. He's humble.
No, but that tells you, okay, the reason I'm not here is because I still got to work on this, this, and this. Let me work on that. While I'm still trying to get this goal,
Right.
let me work on those things, and then you're actually growing. But when you have an illusion that there's not many things wrong with you, that's all it's going to be. It's going to be an illusion.
Well,
Right.
that's your own reality. Many
you
people
create
living
your own
in their
reality.
own in
That's
their
like-
own little world, and
Yeah.
most people don't take responsibility for their actions.
That's like
And
people
that
saying,
goes-
I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. You can say you're rich all you want, but if you're not working towards it, if you're not actually seeing and again, that's just living in an illusion, living in your own reality. You can say you're rich as much as you want, but if you're not actually working towards it, if you're not actually doing anything towards it, you can say it all you want. Right. It ain't real, and it ain't gonna happen, right?
That's
So,
true. That's true.
you already got your goals, you got everything that you're working towards, and the fact that you're not just saying it, but you're believing in it and you're working towards it nonstop, right? You're not that dude. That not a lot of people can do that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate
You know what I mean?
that.
So that's awesome, man. It's awesome to have you here. Let our viewers know where they can find you, even though we're going to put it on the description.
Thank you guys so much. You guys can find me on Instagram at I_SEEE_BRICE. Business page, the official Hoodie Gang. I also will post, they will post our app, Kickback. We've had so many downloads that it's crashed, so we're getting a little, bug fixes. But once that is completely up and running, which it should be now, you'll be able to find any event in the world and host any event in the world. So soon with this next update that is coming out, every club, every event will be listed, so you guys will no longer have to waste your time trying to find out what's lit, what's not lit. Fellas, how many girls are there? Do the girls look good? Ladies, how many guys are there? Any short kings? I don't want to go there, as y'all like to say. But yeah, you guys will be able to see, everything. So yeah, I just want to say, thanks for the Daily Dose podcast for having me. And this is only the beginning. You guys are going to see so much for them. So I didn't know they're going to hit 2 million subscribers in the next year.
Let's do it.
Facts.
Let's do it.
No, if you want to see more content like this, guys, the whole point of this is to empower young adults in female, male, whatever, any age really. But we're trying to give value, we're trying to provide value, and we're trying to help you elevate your life to the next level. So make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed the video, and share it with anybody that needs to hear these things.
Yes,
all
sir.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, until next time.
Next time we'll catch up with you guys later.
All right, be guys. Be good.